Hi guys, what is up? My name is Dylan. Welcome to the Popcorn Podcast. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. Welcome back, of course, if you have been tuning into the channel recently. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. I just said that twice now, but we're gonna roll with it. 2022, motherfuckers. That is correct. There is no other way to really put that. We are in the new year. We have been for quite some time now, about a month. I don't know why I'm stating the obvious, but essentially, it was around this time last year where I started this sort of series on the channel where, of course, I go through everything that I watched in the previous month, in this episode, of course, being January 2022. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys know how this works already. Don't know why I'm giving you an explanation, but without further ado, guys, I'm going to stop waffling on with this intro and proceed to talk about everything that I watched in the month of January 2022. So guys, 21 entries in the month of January. I guess it kind of would have been cool if I did 22, because of course we're in 2022 now, but nevertheless, you know, those are kind of like rookie numbers. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't see more things in January. I can't say I was particularly busy, so I don't really know why. But anyways, on the 1st of January, first thing I watched in 2022 was The Witcher Season 2. I've just logged it as making The Witcher Season 2 because of course Letterboxd doesn't let you log shows and series, which I think is really stupid. They should really change that. But nevertheless, I watched The Witcher Season 2 on the 1st of January. Did it in one entire sitting. I'm a big fan of The Witcher, the world. I played the games. I just love fantasy as well. I really enjoyed Season 1, and Season 2 does improve over Season 1 in quite a few departments. However, I found myself preferring that first season overall to Season 2. I still enjoyed Season 2 a lot, but I did have quite a few issues with it that prevented it from really sort of going that step up from the previous season. Of course, I made a video talking about my sort of main issues with Season 2, so of course if you do watch The Witcher, check that out if you're interested. And yeah, on the 2nd of January, I watched The Strangers, which is a horror film that came out in 2008 starring Liv Tyler, and I wasn't a fan of this film at all. It's sort of it is a home invasion type horror film, which if done correctly or done well, it can be a really sort of intense experience. But for me, this film sort of falls into the category of horror characters that you're just screaming at the entire time because they're making stupid decisions, and then in the end you don't feel anything when bad shit happens to them, essentially. But anyways, on the 3rd of January, I watched Paul Thomas Anderson's latest feature, which is none other than Licorice Pizza. The thumbnail for this video. I like Paul Thomas Anderson a lot, and if you're a fan of him, of course, I'd recommend going and seeing this film. Of course, I gave it a very high rating, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I just had such a blast with this film. It isn't as deep or heavy as some of his other films, like There Will Be Blood or Magnolia or some of the others, but the best way I can describe Licorice Pizza to those of you who don't really know much about it is think about how Quentin Tarantino did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is essentially Paul Thomas Anderson's version of that. It's a tribute to, you know, his him growing up in the 70s, and it has really great performances from the two leads, which are Alana Haim and is it Dustin Hoffman? I think it's Dustin Hoffman, who is the late Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. I thought those were terrific performances, and I would be surprised if I don't see them pop up during award ceremony, which I guess we're currently in. But yeah, Licorice Pizza, I had a blast with it. I think it's Paul Thomas Anderson's most accessible film, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Anyways, on the 5th, I watched Belfast, which is the new film by Kenneth Branagh. And this is also similar to Paul Thomas Anderson with Licorice Pizza, tribute to his childhood growing up in Ireland and sort of the political conflict that was going on, but it focuses on a family, it focuses on a young boy and the sort of tough decisions that they have to make during this rather difficult time in Belfast. And it's a celebration of tradition and really of the Irish culture. And this film, I was pretty much smiling all the way through. It has some really heartwarming and great heartfelt moments, but I don't know if it's a film that's has stuck with me as much as I guess I would have wanted it to. But nevertheless, it's a film that I had a really sweet time watching, I guess you could say. But anyways, on the 6th, I rewatched Another Round, which is, of course, the Danish film by filmmaker Thomas Vinterberg, starring Mads Mikkelsen. Of course, if you've seen The Hunt, a film that I highly, highly recommend. This is essentially the same team, and I basically watched this film also around the same time last year, and I came back to it, revisited it, and I love this film a lot. I think it tackles alcoholism really, really interestingly, and I think it's great. Mads Mikkelsen is one of my favorite actors, so it's always fantastic seeing him in anything really. But on the 7th, I watched this quite late, but Harry Potter, the 20th anniversary return to Hogwarts. Of course, I haven't really talked about Harry Potter much on the channel, but I'm saving it for a time where the wizarding world is, a hot topic, because of course the series is a very, special to me. It was a huge part of my childhood. But yeah, this was great. I enjoyed seeing a lot of the cast reunite, and it got quite emotional towards the end, I will say. Anyways, on the 8th, I rewatched Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love. This is essentially a masterpiece. Tony Leung and Maggie Cheung are just absolutely terrific together. The score is amazing. The way this film is shot and framed is perfect. Yeah, In the Mood for Love, 5 out of 5 stars, without a doubt. On the 10th, I watched The Power of Dog, which, of course, there's been a lot of talk about this film in the film community. A lot of people saying it's going to win Best Picture. I liked this film. It's definitely a real slow burner and takes a lot of inspiration, a lot of elements from Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is terrific. I think Jesse Plemons, though, he's a really underrated actor in my opinion. He's played a range of different roles, and I don't think he gets enough credit, and I think he's terrific here. Kirsten Dunst is amazing here as well. Cody Smith McPhee, I think his name is also really great. So some really terrific performances in this film. Yeah, I don't know if I connected with this emotionally though, which is why I only give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, but still a very good film. I do kind of want to rewatch this to see if I have a different perspective for a second time. So yeah. Anyways, later on the 10th, I rewatched Wes Craven's Scream. It's a cult classic. I have a lot of fun with it every single time I watch it. It is still the best in the franchise in my opinion. Scream 2, not so good, not as good as the first film, but still a lot of fun. And then on the 13th, I took one of my friends who still hadn't seen, believe it or not, Spider-Man No Way Home. And of course, I don't need to talk about this film any more than I have already. If you guys want to check my thoughts out on this film, you know where to find it. On the 14th, Scream 3, which is easily the worst in the franchise. Didn't love this one. Scream 4, though, I did have a lot of fun with, and I think it might be my second favorite in the franchise behind the first. It felt really refreshing, and the twist also I didn't see coming. But on the 19th, I watched Scream 5. The latest Scream film, the first Scream film in the franchise not to be directed by Wes Craven, because of course he passed away, but this one was done by the same guys who did Ready or Not, so I was looking forward to this for a lot of reasons, and I also had a really good time with it. I still prefer Scream 4 to this film, but just seeing the old ensemble return for this, whilst also introducing a new ensemble cast, was really refreshing. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with Scream 5. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. On the 23rd, I rewatched Eternals, and this is a film that I love a lot of things individually within the film, but as a collective experience, I'm always mixed whenever I watch it. To be fair, I've only watched it twice, but my thoughts are more or less the same as I had the first time watching it. It's very different to a lot of other MCU films, I'll give it that, but just as a sort of cohesive piece of storytelling, it is rather messy. So yeah, I'm one of those people who are, of course, like most people, mixed on Eternals. On the 25th, though, I watched the latest film by Guillermo del Toro, Nightmare Alley, and another film that I am a little bit mixed on, more on the positive than the negative side, but still, for me, the problem with Nightmare Alley is it's a film that I very much admire, and respect for the ambition behind it, and Del Toro definitely is sort of going in a little bit of a different direction here. And Nightmare Alley, technically it's brilliant. It's a great looking film. The cast is one of the best already of this year. You know, Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Willem Dafoe, Rooney Mara. Really great actors and great performances in this film. However, for me, I didn't connect with it as on an emotional level. So whilst I did find the story interesting, albeit a little too long, I didn't connect with it emotionally, and I don't think it is as good as some of Guillermo del Toro's best works like The Shape of Water, and of course my personal favourite, Pan's Labyrinth. But anyways, on the 26th I watched Come On, Come On, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Another really heartfelt film. A lot of people have given this film like a really high rating, and I can 100% see why. For me, I think it might have been the time that I watched this. It was really late in the night, so maybe I wasn't as sort of switched on with it, but I enjoyed it a lot. It's a very human film. It feels real. It's of course about the relationship between a boy and his uncle, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and just seeing Joaquin Phoenix do this kind of film after, of course, he did Joker is a really nice switch up. So yeah, I liked Come On, Come On. Maybe I'll revisit it and probably, you know, look to increase my rating on it. But anyways, on the 27th, I finally watched Black Swan. Now this is a film that I had seen a lot of scenes from. Like I used to watch some of the scenes on YouTube when I was younger, but this was the first time I watched in its entirety, and I think it was a really riveting experience. Very disturbing. It's not quite as uncomfortable as, say, something like Requiem for a Dream or Mother, Aronofsky's other films, but still I really like this film a lot. I think Natalie Portman is of course terrific. The film does have a lot of similarities to Whiplash, of course a film that is one of my all-time favorites, so naturally I did find myself liking Black Swan for a lot of the same reasons as I did for Whiplash, but of course they're two very different films as well. But yeah, really like Black Swan. On the 31st I watched Boiling Point, which is a new film that has come out recently, British film starring Stephen Graham in the lead, and this is a film that is shot all in one take. I know many films before have claimed to be a one-take film, but of course it has been, cut and edited at, very obscure points. Boiling Point, however, is a film that is shot all in one take, and 1.5 hour take. I think these guys, I looked into the production after watching the film, and they only did 4 takes in total, and I think the one we see in the film is the 3rd take. It is just a terrific piece of filmmaking in my opinion. The performances are absolutely incredible, just from every single cast member here. It follows a chef in a renowned restaurant in London on the busiest night of the year, and just the sense of chaos is just incredible. Just the way the whole film pans out is a really interesting watch. I couldn't take my eyes off it for a second. I was engrossed from it from the opening minute, and yeah, I had a really terrific time with Boiling Point. It was a film that was recommended to me quite a bit over the past couple of weeks, so I finally decided to check it out, and I'm really happy that I did. Then I watched Cloverfield, the first Cloverfield film, directed by Matt Reeves, and of course I thought I might as well check this film out. It's been on my watch list for years now, and of course Matt Reeves is doing the Batman film, which is coming up next month, so I thought I might check out Cloverfield, and I had a lot of fun with Cloverfield. It is one of the better found footage style films that I have seen personally, and it's great. Gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's very short though. It's short, precise, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with Cloverfield for sure. There was a lot of sequences, especially there's one sequence inside an underground tunnel that really sort of put me out of my comfort zone as a viewer. So hats off to Matt Reeves for crafting that kind of atmosphere throughout in essentially this entire film. But anyways, last night, to finish off the month of January, I watched 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is a film that takes place in the same I think around the same time as the first Cloverfield film. It stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Goodman. John Goodman being a really, really unsettling, creepy character in this film. Very much reminded me of Kathy Bates in Misery. It's a very claustrophobic film. Most of it takes place in one location underground. So there's already this sense of, you know, entrapment and something that really puts you on the edge of your seat during a lot of the more sort of intense sequences and moments. But all the performances here are just terrific, and I did feel the runtime a little bit. It's not a long film, but in some moments I felt like the film dragged. However, the last 20 minutes of 10 Cloverfield Lane absolutely blew my socks off. It's terrific. It's one of the most intense endings to a sci-fi film, or sort of a sci-fi thriller film that I've seen in quite some time. So I was really impressed with the way, you know, this film sort of turned out and the direction it took in its final minutes. So yeah, guys, that is it. Those are basically all the watches that I got round to in January 2022. Let me know what you managed to check out also in this month. And if you have any comments, any thoughts, any opinions on any of these films, I'd love to know, so be sure to comment them down below. Of course, guys, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We do all these kind of videos. Well, we do these videos monthly, but we also, of course, do reviews and video essays, so it would be great to have you on board. But yeah, guys, thank you. Thank you for checking out this video, and hopefully I will see you in the later iterations of this year. So yeah, guys, once again, thanks so much for checking out the video, and I'll catch you very soon in the next.